calm down. You're safe now.
Give up a powerful artifact.
Ex-girlfriend and Lazar, who were trying to leave the area and I forgot to mention, survived their piece of rubble, and she wakes up first, which is very lucky. And in spite of coughing blood from a rock falling near her, she frees herself, ignores Lazar and Gato, jumps through the hole they blew, lands on top of a telekinesis disc, and flies off somewhere. The many implications of that being an ability will never be addressed. Lazar and Gato should be dead, but aren't, so they take off to find the rest. The show is still trying to make them a thing.
Are you really cursing all humans right now?
Just their luck.
They aren't. Meanwhile, Dark Elf finds Dingadong, who survived the dragon, because she, and all big dragons are female, I forgot,
Strike when she comes for me!
chose not to kill her.
After I've read it, no way. They're not mindless murder machines.
No, they are not, but they are still savage creatures, and I doubt she would even care to draw a distinction between you and her captors, especially after hundreds of years. And I know there are theories about the connection between dragons and the Kunari.
Maybe drinking the blood, maybe magic, I don't know. But something in that dragon we killed spoke to me.
But dragons ignoring them
If anything, I think we really bonded.
was never a thing. This is just bullshit to keep Dingadong alive. The non-couple joins the scene, and Gato assumes ex-girlfriend flew to the hideout.
Looked like she was headed for the safe house.
That's not even remotely something you could guess from where you were. Lazar suggests they leave before the dragon kills them, which Dingadong refers to as an unfair assumption.
Hey, that is a completely unfair assumption.
Shut up. Anyway, Erza and her men are going after the dragon. She finds them first, and Erza saves everyone by using the power of plot.
Fall back!
That's not how fire works. A priest shows up and tells Erza about the destruction of the platform, which is what kept the dragon petrified, prompting her to ask where Lazar is.
Where's Magister Amasine?
Now, Dingadong was the one that destroyed it, but how come did she know about it? How does she know that wouldn't reactivate the rest of the defenses? How does she know the dragon won't simply stay petrified? Simple. She read the script. Cut to Lazar, and after he tells you everything he's thinking,
I was so sure Miriam could see reason that I wouldn't have to.
to compensate for all the times you didn't set it up, he finally embraces his inner psychopath.
There can be no master without a slave, and no slave without a master.
He restores Ben using another demon, and that priest arrives just in time to see it all happen. Unfortunately, instead of hiding or running, he completes his mission and relays Erza's orders to Lazar.
I almost forgot the dragon.
Being killed for his blood right after. He used the blood of all the bodies around him to cast a spell on the dragon and control it.
So many lives to bring one beast to heal.
But how did he know where she was? She is not bleeding. He has no way of knowing where she is. But the spell goes straight to her, and it works. Okay, Erza is flabbergasted, and then terrified when she sees the church guy dead on the floor, correctly assuming Lazar did it.
Commander, where are you going? We have reports of wounded from all quarters. We need you here. Let's go.
Instead of correctly assuming nothing, because she shouldn't even be able to see anything from where she is. The dragon that was fighting her had to fly over an entire building to get to Lazar. Nobody's seen that. With the dragon under control, we cut to ex-girlfriend looking for the circle and making a mess of the hideout. She eventually finds it and tries to take off, but the rest of the crew arrives. Aside from the fact that she was unbelievably ahead of them, so they shouldn't even be able to see her leave, it was at this moment that I realized that their weapons are floating on their backs. They kept that from the games. Why? How does that even work? You're not making a game. Why not make something to hold the weapons? Everyone here should be dead 10 times over. Anyway, they realize she was trying to run with the circle, and Dark Elf reaches a conclusion.
You were stealing it. You were always going to steal it. That's why you changed the drop-off. That's why Fairbanks trapped you. He knew you were the traitor and you killed him to cover it up.
And instead of warning the rest of you in secret, he took matters into his own hands and fucked the whole thing up, making him even stupider than I thought. Great. She tries to run, but forgets she can fly and gets caught, because of course. Dark Elf takes the circle and demands the truth. And the truth is, she tried to turn the Inquisition against the Winter, but they were too concerned with petty things like collateral damage. So she turned to the Crimson Knight for help, and the Knight needs the circle so they can genocide this place. But they couldn't just take the circle, fearing the Pope could trace them, so she arranged for the circle to be stolen by the Inquisition, while making a deal with Lazar to facilitate the theft. He would move the circle to the palace, and she would exchange Dark Elf for it, but would only get it after he completed his ritual, hoping Dark Elf would be able to escape him on her own afterwards.
Oh, how thoughtful of you.
Okay. First, the Inquisition was concerned with collateral damage, which is nice and in character, but it never occurred to her that the Inquisition wasn't quite in a position to clash with an entire nation of mages that lack quite a few inhibitions.
Blood magic, raised corpses, and demons may be frowned on officially, but magisters are the officials, so they tend to turn a blind eye toward anyone with power.
If they can do half of the shit Lazar can, the Inquisition would be gone. And even if they did have the power to do it, establishing a precedent that they can invade any country they feel like is not really ideal.
If the Inquisition is to continue, it must do so as a legitimate organization, not a glorified mercenary band.
Why would they ever take that risk? And second, what even is this deal? You give me this important artifact, and I will come up with a heist that is supposed to fail so I can give you your tool. If you don't follow through your side, I get rid of the tool. If you do, I give you the tool and lose my leverage while under arrest. And when that plan went tits up, you botched the deal, didn't try to hide or end yourself, and allowed Lazar to use you as leverage to get the circle and his tool anyway. How stupid are you?
Oh, never mind that. Hear that, Roland? She had leverage. Of course, it'd be a square deal then. You asked a Magister of the Winter to betray his nation, give up a powerful artifact, and look completely incompetent while he did it, and he said yes.
Pointing out the problem doesn't solve the problem. There is no other outcome. She couldn't possibly have believed this could work, no matter how delusional or desperate she may be.
So dumb, it's brilliant. No! It's just dumb!
But before she could continue trying to excuse herself, Lazar kills everyone and the show ends. That's not how fire works. Lazar is out for blood, but Dark Elf offers her undying servitude in exchange for their lives, even though the rest should be dead already.
It's not the bastard I'm worried about, it's the bastard's dragon.
It doesn't make sense. Our dragons are wild animals. They can't just be trained. There's no way one would act like this unless...
I'm sorry, they wouldn't what?
There's no way one would act like this unless...
They wouldn't. Really? Those wild animals. Sure. While Dingadong comes up with an undisclosed plan, and the show finally concludes the relationship that didn't exist,
Just make sure you wait for my signal and...
Lazar refuses Dark Elf's bargain.
You're the one that insisted you were my slave instead of my sister Miriam.
And proceeds with the ritual, right here, right now, instead of anywhere without people in it. You are all stupid. Dingadong's plan is halted by the apparent success of the ritual, but only after Lazar cut the dragon's carotid and used her blood to finish the job.
It's him. It has to be. Brother!
Now here's the funny thing about this. No one knows where the souls of the dead go to in the Dragon Age universe. Not even the spirits.
Death. We spirits know no more of it than you do. What lies beyond is obscured, even to us.
They pass through the Fade and then disappear. This could be a spirit that absorbed Ben's memories and made itself look like him. The circle could be simply emulating him, but if this is Ben, this artifact is one of the biggest findings in the history of this planet, and is treated like a special hot fart. The Vinters just sat on that for years, until Lazar begged to study it.
The Divine himself asked me to research the Circulum Infinitus.
After you practically begged him.
And considering how similar it is to a portal, can you go into it? Can you physically enter the Fade, or even beyond, with it?
The Chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead, they destroyed it.
I am thinking more about this than whoever thought this was a good idea. Ben's spirit comes out correctly assuming Lazar is a complete psycho, and Dark Elf has a very emotional moment where she accepts everything that happened and tells the spirit he can't come back.
You can't come back. Not in that thing, not...
I really can't be bothered right now.
And even though the circle is supposed to restore the person completely, the spirit reassures her.
It's gonna be okay. I love you.
As he touches the body and disintegrates it. It can do that. How is that possible? Was that a spell? Can he do that with Lazar and save everyone? It takes skill to raise that many questions in so little time. With Ben gone, the rest of the team follow the plan. Lackluster throws a grenade at the circle, Gaydal shoots the grenade with an arrow, and Dingadong protects Dark Elf from the subsequent nuclear explosion. So Dingadong realized that the dragon was being controlled and came up with this plan?
It's being controlled. Guys. I know what we should do.
Okay, I think this could work.
What is the connection? And even then, there is no way she knew Gaydal would hit. There's no way she knew the artifact would react like that. There's no way she prepared herself to create a shield powerful enough to save Dark Elf. And there's no way anyone here survived the explosion. Just shoot Lazar, you horny bitch. Everybody lives, including the dragon that was bleeding profusely, and the circle that blew up. Dark Elf kills Lazar, who really went full psycho and forgot all the spells he could cast.
You were right!
And then the dragon doesn't kill anybody, because Dingadong heals it, and because...
That's the thing everyone forgets about dragons. They aren't monsters. Gods. They're just alive, like us.
First of all, you can heal a dragon. An enormous dragon. Suffering from severe blood loss. But you can't stop and heal Dark Elf right after you left the castle. Sure. Second of all...
If I were chained in a basement for 1,000 years, all I want is to be free.
A wild animal kept in captivity for hundreds of years through a spell that could have kept her aware of everything.
It has been a long time. I have forgotten my name, but I am a warrior. I am Avar, and I am cursed.
Then mind-controlled through a spell that might have severely messed with her head.
And I, for one, cannot recall any good coming from something powered by murder.
Then freed from the mind control, only to find herself extremely hurt.
No more death today.
It's going to fucking kill you.
You know that thing's just gonna ravage the countryside, right?
Yes. Yes, it will. You... decent person. Ex-girlfriend survives, somehow, and Dark Elf tries to convince her to drop those genocidal tendencies.
It's over, if you want it to be.
But it turns out that's an illusion that can move on its own. The real ex-girlfriend comes out of invisibility, casts a sleeping spell on everyone, and takes off, with the circle.
Holy crap, we're alive. Ha! Wow.
She can do the sleep spell and an illusion spell that I don't remember being a thing. If only she knew how to do them all these hours ago. However, the plan semi-fails, because she already told them where she's taking the circle. The show points that out too.
After all, we know where she's headed. Holy crap, we're alive. I am usually not this lucky.
Oh, you all are incredibly lucky. Elsa finds Lazar's body, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to feel bad for her loss or feel nothing about this contributor to slavery, since the show can't decide and or elaborate on who gets to be good or bad, and thinks being a complicated character means being schizophrenic.
Without a dragon, it will cost dozens, hundreds of lives to power the circulum. I have to destroy it before it gets to the Crimson Knight.
The team escapes before the Tevinters arrive.
Where do we go now? Here it could be anywhere.
And off they go after ex-girlfriend, with determination in their faces.
We know where she's headed.
But we are not done yet. We need our Thanos to be introduced.
To break your neck.
Cut to the copy-pasted land of Kirkwall, that seems to finally look like what it was supposed to. A dude wearing Templar armor is relaying a message from ex-girlfriend to a wall of red crystals. He is a Red Templar, a member of a group of rebel Templars that went off the deep end and used the corrupted type of lyrium to power themselves, as opposed to the normal ones that use lyrium to power themselves. It's a whole thing. More importantly, the wall of red lyrium responds in an older woman voice, saying the Templar will have full support to find and kill the ones following ex-girlfriend and get the circle.
Yes, Knight Commander.
I will have my war.
If you haven't played Dragon Age 2, don't. But also none of these will mean anything to you. If you did, even without the My Commander part, you should be able to recognize her as being Knight Commander Meredith, the main villain of the game.
So be it. You will share the Circle's fate.
She used the red lyrium,
We must stay true to our path!
went insane,
The dwarf charged a great deal for his prize.
was defeated,
I will not be defeated!
and became a statue made of the damn thing.
Make her hate your humble servant!
How is she alive? I don't know. How is she here after being taken by that undead store owner from the DLC? I don't know. How did she know about the circle and where to find it?
This thing is starting to give me a headache.
I don't know. What does she want with it? And how could that possibly help her?
It's a rock! A rock!
I don't know. Why would ex-girlfriend assume the Red Templars that were beaten by the Inquisition would prioritize Tevinter over the older and more prominent enemies?
Because they're stupid.
Why would this show get a second season? I don't know.